Hey y'all, I'm Student.Dr.t and I'm a second year medical student. Me too. Me too. Me too. Me too. I wanted to start a video series because there is a lot of information about medical students, the career field of medicine, and I'm starting to get the impression that people think that medical students can only look one certain type of way, brown skin, sound one certain type of way, and only care to talk about things that pertain to medicine. Listen, I could talk about a lot of things. I could talk about the baby. Listen, if the baby need a baby, I'll be his baby, okay? Even though I plan on talking about a lot of things throughout my time, there is one thing I want to dedicate my first video to, and that's my tips for getting into medical school. All right, first tip, and I'ma only say this one once. Apply mother flippin' early. Period. Second tip, when it comes to formatting a personal statement, if you need any help, here is my go-to. 4 paragraphs. The first one, what inspired you to go to medical school? And don't say y'all went to Africa because y'all make me sick. But she's right. When you go to another country and you see their healthcare and assume that's what you need to fix in the world, it's almost as if you're assuming that social injustices only exist in self-governed Black and brown people nations. Can you tell I talk about this a lot? Second paragraph. Now that you've decided to go to medical school, what did you do in the meantime to prepare yourself? This is when you talk about your community service. This is when you talk about your volunteer at the hospital, your research interests. Third paragraph, what were your struggles in pursuit of that career in medicine? Did you drop a class? Baby, did you get a C? Was it worse? Can we not bring it up? I remember I was dropping it so low at those college house parties that I had to drop a class. Fourth paragraph, this is when you talk about your future in medicine. What is the impact that you plan on making? Now we're moving on to our third tip. I don't want to say this too loud now. It's about the Mcat. You know that thing that pre-meds drive crazy over? They're all like, oh my God, I need a 520. It's hard. And I know some of you took that first practice test and said, oh shoot, am I made to be a doctor? The first time I took a practice test with Kaplan, baby, all my scores were in the low 30 percentiles. Even my biochem was a 1 percentile. I don't know if I should say that because I was a bio major. But then when I finally took my Mcat, 2 of my scores were in the higher 90 percentiles. We get it, you smart. A lot of what you have to do is get comfortable taking the test. So that means that when you get your information down, the bulk of your studying should now go towards question banks, test-taking strategies, taking full-length exams. I understand the Mcat prep courses are crazy expensive. Right, $2,000 for a prep test and then $300 for the test? Baby, do I look like I made the money? Actually, I do. More like change. Yeah, change because I'm a dime. If you don't go to a school that offers a discount for a test prep service, I would honestly use Khan Academy. And then you can save your money, a couple hundred, to then buy a bank of questions and practice tests. You can practice your test-taking strategies. My fourth tip is gonna be about choosing a school. I think this is so important because so often as pre-meds, we're just like, take me anywhere, please. Please, I just need a medical school to take me. But you really wanna consider where you're going. So I have a couple topics that I think are important to keep in mind when you're applying to medical school. The first one is academics. There are some medical schools out there that I'm sure are fabulous, but they have a letter grade scale. If you're someone like me who just loves a little pass-fail, a little just above 60%, then you need to look for a school that's pass-fail. The reason why I love it is because I can literally get a 60%. Nobody knows. Nobody cares. And guess what? On my transcript, it's a P. Everybody is a P on their transcript. Personally, I was fine with the letter grade system. Weeds out the week. Next one, you need to consider finances. Some of the schools that I interviewed at told me that I would on average be leaving with $300,000 in debt. Baby, that's a house. I would at least consider looking at schools that have really good financial aid. A lot of us have already accepted that we're going to be in debt. But there is a big difference between $100,000 in debt and $300,000 in debt. Yes, speak it, girl, speak. Another thing you want to consider is wellness. The reason I say this is because my school has a wonderful wellness program. Medical school is likely going to be one of the most stressful things you go through in your life, and it's probably going to be the most stressful thing you've done until now. Not speaking for everybody, but for me, it was like that. And you want a school that's gonna support you through that. My school has events, we have brunches, we have bike rides, we have yoga. Have you ever considered whether your school has intramural sports? I played soccer, football, even picked up tennis. Don't forget about diversity. Listen, if it's something that's important to you, make sure you get the real statistics of your school's representation. So once you have chosen your ideal school, I would suggest building a relationship with that school. That could involve summer internships during undergrad, or volunteering at the hospital associated with the medical school, or working at the hospital associated with the medical school. Get connected, stay connected. When I got waitlisted at my dream school, I sent them a message every month about all the things I was doing. Poetry contests I was entering, community service work I was doing, trips I was organizing. All I know is, when I sent my last message, they said, ... good news coming soon. And I said, ... So this is my last and final tip, and this is regarding the interview. You got this far. At this point, come on time, be polite, be professionally dressed, and be yourself. Literally, who better to be than yourself? Ain't nobody else can be better than you, boo. Do not come rehearsed. People will see right through it. And you deserve a fair opportunity to get that spot at that medical school. And please don't talk about y'all's resume. You already there. They want to know something different, okay? And don't talk about y'all's resume. Baby, you already in the interview. Be cool. Don't talk about your stats. Don't talk about your grades, your Mcat, your whatever scholarship. And if they ask you about your resume, it's probably because they want to talk about your community service, your research interests, that one volunteer experience you said was really influential. They do not want to hear about your Mcat score. Baby, do not try to be this perfect person with perfect stats. You know who gets perfect stats? A robot. And you know who doesn't make a good doctor? A robot. You got this. You can do anything.